Hello again, everybody. Larry here. Welcome to episode number 49 of my South Olympic Branch series. Today I'm working on putting holes in the supports for the lower level for cabling and wiring and all of that. And you may be wondering why I didn't do this before. Well, it's because I forgot. So there you have it. It's just a matter of taking my Forstner bit and doing a whole bunch of drilling. For quite some time, the end of the railroad now has been where those two turnouts are. And it's about time that more of the bottom deck got occupied with track. So this is just the roadbed right now, but at least I got some of that glued down tonight. Another step in the right direction. So I'm kind of starting with where the shape was, and then I'm going to take my pin and I think I'll shift it over like, maybe about that much over to the right, and we'll draw that out and see how that looks. So I decided to extend the left side out a little bit because I was looking at it and I'm like, there's track on the left, and if I make that a little bit wider, I can just go right up against that for the grade crossing. And then I also decided to draw in the curve that will probably go back towards the chemical plant. So we'll see how that looks. Let's see. And so now I got to find a place to cut this. Everybody wish me luck. That is over farther than I thought I'd end up, and I need to trim it still. But I like that the angle helps. I'm still going to have it curve across the tracks, but that'll be interesting. I put my contour gauge up against the outside of the track, and then I drew that little line right here on this. Now I'm going to cut that and we'll see how it fits. I've been staring at this cutout for quite a while, and I decided that where I did it, there would just be more of an angle going across the tracks than I like. So I'm going to pick up the jigsaw and make it more straight. So I made that cut and cleaned up after myself, and now that's still kind of a steep angle there, but I don't think it's going to be so bad. I think I'm going to recut this piece so that it has more of a curved approach. So I've got it cut about where I want it to be now, and I think I'm going to get the texture on it. While I was adding the texture, I also put some texture on a piece of foam core poster board that I'm going to use for a experiment in structure building. Before the remodel was started, I had, of course, been purchasing some cars just like we all do, and I actually had just put them in a box, and I just found I was just looking at the box going, let's dig those out and see what's in there. So I found this rail box in there that's an Atlas Trainman. It looks like I paid $10 for it. And I just got through putting some KD couplers on it. Also this Athearn roundhouse. It's a newer roundhouse though, so it's not a kit. And it has sprung couplers on it, but Athearn still makes these couplers out of some kind of plastic. And any kind of strain on them just makes them come apart. So they're going away as well. And another one. So this one will probably have plastic couplers on it too. As a matter of fact, this one looks like it's got plastic wheels on it. But I was wrong. It has plastic wheels on one end and metal on the other. Interesting. Now the car that was in that box was this potlatch car that's an old Walthers ready to run. So while it has metal wheels that maybe somebody converted, it's still got plastic couplers, so I'll be doing the same thing to it. I was right, somebody had changed out the wheels. It has rib-backed wheels on it, and it really isn't likely this car would have come with that. I've glued these scraps in place, and now I have that ready to go right into there. So I think once that glue dries, then I can come back and glue this down. And the first part of our crossing should be good to go. I put a coat of asphalt top coat on this piece here and it's drying now. This was after I glued some of the supporting boards in place. This piece isn't glued down yet. I'm gonna come back and do that later. But one more step towards this, and I'm kind of thinking about at the end of the peninsula support here, wrapping a building around, having the side of a building come around and come on this side and this side. And then between the building and the road that's back here, putting some trees in there. At least that's my current thought. We'll see if that's what I end up doing or not. I laid some more cork down here into the corner tonight, and starting to get there, and then I'll be putting some more over here. But as far as I'm going to get tonight is where I got. This track is not secured down or connected even yet, so that will come in the next couple of days, I hope. I just put down glue under the styrene piece here that's now dried, and normally I don't worry about weighting down stuff that I've glued down, but because this is kind of flexed, it has to bend up against the track over here and also has to flex down to the track down there. I decided to weight it down, and we'll let that dry. I've got to head off to work, and then I'll see what it looks like when I get home. Taking my trusty utility knife, and I'm just going to try to follow the curve that I drew on this as best as possible. And the funny thing about this kind of thing is, shoot, okay, so that slipped, which is one of those things that drives me bug nuts about using a freehand utility knife. Anyway, so we'll see how we do with this, because it's going to want to follow whatever line it wants to follow. There we go. Let's see if I can snap this off. And that's not really pretty, but let's see what it looks like when I put it up against the track. Okay, so it's, you know, it doesn't look great. But let's see. I might be able to trim this back again and get to where we want to be. Let's see. Yeah, I probably could draw another couple of lines on here and try cutting this again. But what I do like is that when I lay it across the outside here, that it's coming out in a position that's fairly decent. So let's try this one more time. Okay, so I did the second draw and cut. Let's snap it, and let's drop it in here and see how we did. Ooh, that, I like that. I like that a lot. It's a little steeper of an angle than I would like, but I think if I bring this over, it might work. I wonder how my remaining piece is going to work. You know what? That looks pretty good. Let me pause this so you guys can get a better look. I think that's going to look pretty good, and I think I might even be able to copy that contour one more time and see if I can just go right to the next cut. Okay, I'll have to tape down these parts to something so I can spray texture them. and then go over them with the asphalt top coat like I did with the other pieces. Not going to get to that tonight though, because I got to get up early for work tomorrow, and I still have some other things that I've got to do before I go to bed. I've been toying around with some foam pieces to help fill in underneath the roadway here, and because I didn't want to build a bridge, I wanted it to look like fill, and you'll notice the little circles on there. Well, I wanted to go with like a culvert under it, and kind of piece of styrene that's this size I think will work well for making that culvert right there. Let's see how that works out. And so I need to put a hole right about where that is, right? And I want it to kind of mimic the other one. So I'm going to stick this in there like that. I'm just going to push into this stuff. Keep in mind, it only has to connect to follow the form factor kind of on the outside. So there it is. And they don't look very pretty, but I think once I put some Sculptamold around there and, paint it and all that stuff, it'll probably look pretty good. Out in the backyard again with some stone texture on the styrene. And we'll have some more streets pieces. Paint is dry, and I'm working on the supporting foam and pieces that will go in there. I haven't quite decided how I'm going to fill in around the pipe, whether it's going to be like just do Sculptamold and make it look like they left fill there, or whether I want to put a solid piece and make it look like it's a cement wall. Classic Metalworks just released their new 1976 Chevy stepside pickup, and I got one in the mail today. Not a bad looking little truck. Will be a good addition to the 70s and 80s auto fleet around here. Well guys, I'm going to close out episode 49 by watching the wheels go round and round. This set is Proto 2000 with some mounted decoders in. More of a recent set. And behind it is some of the cars that I pulled out of that box, and some other Thraldor boxcars and other cars that I had around, including a couple that were given to me recently. Sadly, you have to watch the mess that is the Helix, but hey, you gotta take the good with the bad here. Eventually, I plan to have some scenery and backdrop there, so the folks that are running trains won't immediately see the trains come up to Helix that way. But I'm not in any hurry to do that part. And I'm still letting that signal configuration be what it is until I get around to doing more of that. I suppose you could say I'm not very consistent when it comes to, staying on the same project. Ready for the grade. The new crossing. As always, I appreciate you watching. So, thanks again. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Be safe, have fun with the trains out there.